let's talk cosplay. Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about cosplay and cons, and this video is going to be a multi-part video. This first video I'm going to talk about mostly getting started with cosplaying if it's your first time, and then getting more in-depth with it as the videos continue. So first I'm going to just delve right into the basic concept of cosplaying, that sort of thing. When you are picking a character to cosplay for the first time, my number one suggestion for you is to pick a character that you want to cosplay. Do not pick a character that someone else is like, hey, you'd be really good as this character, or hey, we're getting a group together and you should join us for it, or you would really look slam bammin' as this character, or have you even heard of that character, blah 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 blah. Pick a character you want to cosplay as, go with it. Don't let other people make that decision for you, because you will not have fun. And especially if you're doing a first time cosplay, if you are letting other people decide everything for you, you might not have the knowledge of the character enough to pull off that look as well as you'd like. So pick a character that you are comfortable cosplaying as, one that you know pretty well, and one that you yourself kind of are like, almost. Because if you pick a character that you aren't like, you will be even more uncomfortable than you would be in just the costume. What I mean by that is, if you are a very outspoken person and you pick a character that's really quiet, you will probably be out of character a lot during the day, because you're going to want to be expressive and excited. And a lot of times people will say mean things to you, and don't listen. You shouldn't listen to them, but it's just easier for you to pick characters that you are more like to cosplay as. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm gonna say next. Next is, don't let other people influence what you want to cosplay as in the negative sense either. You might want to pick a character. You might be pasty white like I am and want to cosplay a character that's darker skinned, or a different color skin maybe even. Don't let someone be like, oh well, you can't cosplay that character because you don't have the right skin type, or you don't have the right body type. You're not skinny enough to cosplay that person, or you're not heavy enough to cosplay that person. I've heard both. Don't pick a character because of that. Pick a character because you want to cosplay it. If you are a 400-pound man and you want to cosplay Sailor Moon, more power to you. If that's what you want to do, you do it, good sir, and I will applaud you for it. Don't let yourself get into that habit of being an extreme cosplayer. And by that I mean, don't overeat in order to get a certain body type. Don't starve yourself to get a certain body type. Don't sit out in the sun so much you look like a leather sofa to get a certain body color type. Don't stay indoors so much that you look like a ghost to get a certain color type. Don't go get laser vision to have perfect eyesight, or liposuction, that sort of thing. Just cosplaying is supposed to be fun. That's why play is in the word. You're supposed to enjoy it. If you like a character that doesn't look like you, don't feel bad about it. Just have fun. You're not going to be that person. That person is a video game character, a anime character, a manga character, a superhero from a TV show. They're not meant to be real people, and they're not meant to look like real people. So don't be ashamed if you don't look like the person you're cosplaying as. It's not a big deal. If you have the costume on and you're having fun, that's all that matters. My next suggestion is, if you're a first-time cosplayer, go with a smaller group and pick a con that is closer to home. The reason I say this is because the bigger the group is, the more likely there will be drama, and the more likely you will be caught up in that drama and not have fun. And the reason I say pick a con that's closer to home is the likelihood that you will get bored the first time you go to a con. There's always lulls in cons. A lot of times, more veteran con people use that time to take naps or eat. But if you're a first-time con goer, you might not be familiar enough with it yet that you just get bored and want to leave. So if you have a con closer to home, you probably will be more familiar with the area and know more stuff to do. Also with picking cons closer to home, I also suggest if you're going to a con for the first time, pick a con that is smaller, because the bigger cons tend to be a little bit more overwhelming than the smaller cons, and you tend to get so overwhelmed that you don't go to anything. Like my first con, I went to a really big con and I didn't go to any panels because I was so overwhelmed by what was going on that I just lost my mind, basically. Pick a smaller con and slowly work your way up to the bigger cons. It makes it a lot easier, and it gives you a lot more time to get used to, like, okay, this is how a con goes, this is what we're going to be doing, that sort of thing. Next is when you pick a costume, I would suggest picking something that you are 1, familiar with, 2, comfortable in, and 3, goes well with the weather. The reason I say number 3 is because up here it gets cold for like most of the year, and a lot of times I've seen it myself where people will get cute little costumes and they show off their stomach or all of their legs, and it's winter and it's snowing and they get frostbite because they don't realize that their hotel room isn't in the same hotel as the con, so they walk, and when you walk in cold you tend to get cold. So just be aware of where your hotel room is, be aware of where the con is, be aware of the weather that it's going to go on. Plan ahead. If you're going to be wearing a super tiny showy off outfit in winter, make sure that you have something to cover yourself in if you're going to be walking outside, or have a vehicle set up so that you don't walk outside. And also, along with those, pick a costume that you are going to be comfortable in. Shoes, wig, costume itself. If you're not comfortable in any of these 3 things, you are not going to have a good time. A lot of characters wear really high heel shoes. If that's not you, maybe pick a different character, or try to what's the word I'm thinking of? Try to get a shoe that looks like the shoe the character is wearing, but is more realistic, human-wise. If a girl's wearing a heel that's this tall, maybe get a heel that's this tall. That sort of thing. Or, you know, go barefoot. I don't know. They won't let you go barefoot. Don't do that. But maybe wear flip-flops. I don't know. Do something so that you're comfortable. And then do your research. Research the type of wigs you're going to be getting, the type of outfits you're going to be getting if you're not making them, different fabric choices. Do research on how to act as a character, do research on the character, watch the show a couple times so you can get into character, that sort of thing. And then next, when it comes to being in character, know when to be in character and when not to be in character. There are times in a con where it is not acceptable to be super obnoxious no matter how in character you're trying to be. Examples. I went to a con just recently in October, and a girl was sitting behind us dressed as a troll from, what is that? I'm sorry, it's not Stupid, but Homestuck. That. She's dressed as a troll from Homestuck, and that troll's character was really obnoxious. So the entire time during this masquerade cosplay contest, this girl is behind us just being an ass, making an ass of herself, just constantly talking and saying things that are really rude, talking when the people on stage are trying to do their performance, talking in between people doing their performance, and the announcer trying to talk to you, talking when we had like the in between them doing their contest and them judging, they have like a little like mediation time where the judges like talk and they play videos and stuff. She talked during that. She literally talked the entire time, and it was super rude. So again, I say, know when to be in character and when not to be in character. It is not acceptable to be an ass just because your character is an ass. When you're with your friends or when you're with people that understand that and it's acceptable to be in character, go ahead, be in character. If you're Inuyasha, say swear words as long as children aren't around. A lot of cons are like all ages, so don't swear around children. But you know, be in character when it's appropriate, and know when it's appropriate. If you can't tell the difference, then maybe you shouldn't be dressing. I shouldn't say that. You should be able to dress up no matter what, but maybe you shouldn't be in character then if you can't tell the difference, because you need to know when it's acceptable to act a certain way and not when it's not. Another thing that you should also be considerate of is knowing con etiquette. It is not okay to go up to a person, hug them without asking. It is not okay to touch a person's props without asking them. It is not okay to touch anyone without anyone's permission. Don't go up to a person and just randomly hug them. You could break their props. You could break their costume. You don't know that person. You don't know if that person is an aggressive person. You don't know how they're gonna react, so don't do it. Ask before you do something. Be considerate of people in the hallways. I know a lot of times cons are really, really crowded, and a lot of bigger costumes have to get through certain places, and it's not their fault that they're wearing a gigantic costume. Be considerate of them. Move out of their way. Let them get through. Also, don't hold up pathways. If you and your friends need to talk, go to a place where it's not busy and talk to your friends. Don't stand in the middle of a walkway and chit-chat with them. That's not cool. You will get bumped or told to move. Some other things to talk about are health-wise. You're going to a con, a lot of times a lot of people are having so much fun they don't realize that they haven't eaten all day, that they haven't showered all day. Be aware of your hygiene and of your personal health. Make sure to bring snacks. I know a lot of cosplayers that bring like granola bars and like health bars and fruit and stuff, and they put it in like bags or they hide it in certain props and they bring it along with them to eat during the day. Make sure that you eat at least 3 times a day. Maybe 2 is okay, but try to do 3. At least 2 bigger meals and then a snack time. Make sure that you are feeling yourself, because you exert a lot of energy at a con, so you need to put in what you're giving out for your body, and make sure that you get enough sleep a day. Sleep's important. A lot of times, a lot of people go without sleep the whole weekend and then they're sick for the next week or so. Don't do that. Be nice to your body. I know you're having a lot of fun, but your body needs rest. Find times during the day when it's really slow. If you don't have anything better to do, go back to your room and sleep. That's a good thing to do. Take naps. And then hygiene. Shower. Nobody wants to smell you. Nobody. Shower at least once a day. I would suggest doing it at least twice a day if you're me, because cons, you tend to wear a lot of like heavier fabrics and you get hot and you sweat, and sweat stinks. So I shower at least twice a day when I'm going to cons. I would suggest doing the same thing. Wear deodorant. Nobody wants to smell your armpits. Think of it as if you're at a job interview. Would you want to smell that way at a job interview? I don't think so. So make sure you're clean. And I forgot to mention on the, like, being courteous of people and, like, knowing con etiquette. Don't take pictures of people when they're, like, eating or when they're sleeping or when they're doing stuff. that's embarrassing and they don't want to have their picture taken. And ask before you take their picture. Don't just take pictures of people, because that's rude. Nobody wants a picture of them going like and eating something. They just don't. So don't do it. Think about it. If it was you, would you want a picture of that on Facebook or something? No, you wouldn't. So don't do it to other people. Another thing I would suggest is pack lightly, especially for your first con. You're going to be leaving more than likely with more than what you came with, so it's a good idea to pack lightly. That way you have room, because I've been to a couple cons with other people where we packed more on the heavier side and we didn't have any room when we came back. So don't do that to yourself, because it's not a fun ride home. Make sure you save up. That's another good thing. I don't know how many times I've been really disappointed in myself for not saving up at a con and seeing something that I really wanted to buy and not being able to get it. Nothing sucks more than seeing something you wanted for like years and not being able to afford it. So make sure you save up. And I think that is it. Oh, and if you're going with other people, make sure you have like a buddy system set up. I know it sounds really like kindergarten-y, but when you're with a group of people, oftentimes you're not going to all want to go to the same thing at the same time. So you need to have like a time to text each other, or a time to meet up with each other, or something, so that you guys know that none of you are missing. I actually was at a con, my very first con in fact, where we ended up losing one of the people that we came with, and she was gone for 24 hours straight, and we had no idea where she was. And we almost went to the police to try and find her, because she had been gone for so long and wasn't answering her phone, and she hadn't come back to our hotel room or anything for 24 straight hours. So don't do that to your friends. It's very scary, and you end up ruining the whole weekend for your friends if you're that person, because they're constantly worried about where you are and looking for you. You're an adult, take care of yourself, let people know where you're at, have a cell phone on you, meet up with people, make sure someone knows where you are, basically. Don't just run off and not tell anybody. And I think that's it. In the next video, we'll talk about putting your costume together, different ways you can save money on getting costume stuff, and then we might get into some prop work. I'll show you my Marceline axe base that I made and some other stuff. We'll get into more of picking people to get costumes from and places to get wigs from. We'll talk about contact colors, makeup, that sort of thing. So thanks for watching. Bye!